All right, everybody. I am Erica,
And I am Drea.
and this is Book and Sip, where we read some books and take some sips. This is a very sophisticated book, very sophisticated, very Bridgerton feels for me. I feel it's very, very docile compared to what it should be from what we read in these first five chapters. So I have just a nice glass of tea, chai
Okay.
tea. Sorry, if you've seen Spider-Man, that's a no-no. I have a nice cup of chai.
A nice coat. Yes, yes. So you're saying TT. Okay. So I, however, think that this is so hood. This book is so ghetto. I'm drinking a Cayman Jacks and I'm drinking watermelon flavor.
See,
The jokes will
we'll
come
go
through.
through it and we'll let the people decide. Is this a hood book or is this a sophisticated book? All right, chapters 1 through 5. We're gonna hit these. We're gonna go through these summaries and kind of talk about it. Okay, chapter 1. I like that chapter 1 went into a lot of detail. We meet the family. We learn about Una, Charles, and the kids' jobs, their upbringing, their background. This is also where Charles decides to drop a bomb in their marriage by admitting he has been having an affair for the past year and he's leaving to Buenos Aires to start a new life with a man that's half his age.
Yes, indeed. That is what happened in chapter one. I first, when I was reading this, I thought, my God, where's the juice? She went on and on and on about how she likes to make Thanksgiving dinner and this and that. I was like, my God. But then when it hit, it hit. Yes,
And see, even though I knew this was coming, it still shocked me.
it was
Like, so I was
shocking.
like, okay, said in the summary he's gonna leave with a man half his age. I was like, okay, so he's not just he's an immigrant
On
because
the
he has to
HB1
go to Buenos
visa.
Aires. His visa
Mm,
ran out. And when the summary said younger, I thought like 10 years. This man's a full 30 years younger than him.
yes. And there is a massive difference between 30 and 50, almost
59.
60,
Yeah, almost 60.
almost 60.
You need to sit your old ass down.
Complete. Took the words right out of my mouth. The
But
other thing was that I I thought Una didn't do enough.
see, this is why I said it was docile.
I
I was
just thought,
expecting
yeah, I mean it
more.
is docile. Without a doubt, it is docile, but I didn't think she did enough. But I've had time to meditate on this because as you know, I called you and left you I sent you a
Yes.
million voice memos like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. But I have had time to kind of calm down. And I think that I would be more like Una because the older you get, the calmer you get. And I think maybe if you have money, the things you stress about or panic about, the way you respond to things, it is different. So probably because they have a particular type of lifestyle, there's really no need to like kind of blow up. She had her own. She didn't
She
make as
did.
much as him. She said she depended on him for her
She
well-being.
did.
But he already said he
Support
wasn't the
you.
type to just pop up and leave. He was gonna still contribute. And she wasn't broke.
No, by no means.
Yeah, so I
She
think
had a
maybe I
decent
probably
savings.
just would have been like, okay, but where does that leave me in my shopping? That's what I want to know. Can I still afford
Really?
my eyeshadow or nah?
Apparently she can, but and I get it. I think she was more in shock than anything because I would have. I mean, we've been together for 25 years, and it's just, by the way, I'm gay and I've been cheating on you for a year.
That's what when I said that I thought the book was ghetto, that was it. That was the part for me. That was it.
He was saying, and then I'm going to run away at that.
I mean, but on top of, well, I had this thing in college. Wait a minute. Why did we never talk about that?
25 years and I didn't know. I thought it was just like a fleeting thing.
And not to be okay, I'm probably gonna get us banned if I say this, but you know how a lot of people are like, oh, girls being one way, that's okay, but guys being another. And I think this
Yes.
is it. I think it is this idea that I can't compete. I can't compete. And so yeah, there's a big difference. I want to know. You're wrong for
There
that.
is.
We cannot be
There
married
is.
for 25 years and then you say, oh, yeah, but it was back in the day. I thought I was over it.
No,
How
and
can
I kind
you
of get
get
what you're
over
saying.
that?
For some reason, I feel like when girls say they had this experience in college, it hits different than a guy saying,
Oh, it
"Yeah,
does.
I experimented in college," and it's like you're probably gay. But for a girl, it's like, oh, okay, you know,
You're experimenting.
yes. So I don't know why it's like that,
I
but
don't know
yes,
why it's like that either.
for a guy, it's like,
But
okay,
I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, I think it's because as much as we like to talk bad about the boys, that little magic stick does some things. So I'm not mad at Charles for coming back to it because 25 years I would have come back to it too. But that's the point. You were married with children, sir.
yes, it's
You're out
over.
of line. You are so out of line.
Like you want to talk about hitting a midlife crisis?
Completely.
Mm-mm. All right, chapter two. In chapter two, Una finds out that a merger between her company and another company could mean she is out of a job. Charles tells his kids about him leaving when they come to visit. He tries to explain that he needs to do this for himself, and their mother is young enough to find love again, whereas he is not. His daughter is upset and openly vents her feelings, while their son openly cries but has nothing to say. Una tells her children that she will be vacationing in France, and they should visit too. Now, her daughter's reaction is the reaction I expected from mom. Like the daughter went in,
Yes, I feel like she's my spirit animal. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
She was all, you can't just up and leave. What do you mean he's suddenly gay? Talking about, I mean,
Yes. Yes. And the idea you just leave, like you just run away. What kind of person are you? Yeah.
that Albert. No, a
Yeah.
damn well that was not his name. Sure did. I want to be Alberto or whatever he is.
Or
It's
whatever
like,
he
oh,
is. And I feel like that was so realistic. I mean, on top of everything else, her daughter's reaction, that was Danielle still did a good job of a realistic reaction because we all know the shady way to treat anybody is to mispronounce their name or
yes,
whatever your little friend name is.
yes,
We are like it was perfect. It was so fitting. But you had to feel bad for the son. His
yes.
heart was so broken.
I mean, and I do feel like it hit the son in a much bigger way than it hit the daughter because it's like you're my idol. You're the person I aspire to be in. And was this all a lie?
Right.
So
I thought it
yes,
was,
I think she did a good job going through how Megan was feeling versus how Will was feeling.
yes. And I also thought it was very interesting. I'd like to know your take on it. One of the things that Danielle Steele did specifically about this was make it clear that this is not about him being gay. This is solely about him leaving his family.
Yes. Yes.
I thought she was very like specific, and I wonder is that because she didn't want the backlash of gay shaming in some way? What did you think?
Mm. Actually, no, I don't think it had anything to do with the backlashing of gay shaming. I think it
Okay.
really just was 25 years into this. Like you had so many times to end our marriage. Because it's one thing if you cheated on me with another woman. That I mean, yes, that and she said man, woman, it still would have been bad. But this one, we were never gonna work out.
No.
We were
And then
never
the
gonna work
question
out.
is, do we think that, like, are we positive that that's the case? Are we sure he's not going to come back? Do you think that they can weather the storm? Like, could it just be,
Not sure if it's a do you think you can? Is it would you want to after this?
I mean, I think,
Like if he did come back and was like, hey, turns out I'm not gay. It was just, I just want to see what it was like. I'm not. So can we start this over again? And white slate king. This never happened.
I mean, it took 25 years for him to get here. The odds are he'll be 85 in 25 years, he probably won't have the ability to go out and do it again. So, I mean, what's the,
So you would say okay?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think, are there some breakage of trust that you can't come back from? Because people have been cheated on before. This is nothing new.
Yes.
And so, and as a married person, you're the married one here. As the married person, you weigh your options. You talk to them, you figure out where did the breakdown go so that you can understand if it's something that you can overcome and it won't repeat itself. If it was, I don't know, if it was something that you really didn't have any control, it was just this person's choice, then I don't know that you can always come back from that. But if you can take some ownership and, oh, well, we both had a break. I cut you out. I did whatever. Maybe I could have been better. Then maybe the two of you can build something. I don't know how it works. You're the married one. I don't know.
So I can tell you, no, I don't think you can come back from that because one, you went through this for a year. You cheated on me for a year.
I forgot
You
about
never said
that.
anything. Yeah. You went through this for a year.
Oh yeah.
Two, you decide to tell me on Thanksgiving. You told me on Thanksgiving, you told the kids on Christmas, and then you're like, I'm out of here January 2nd.
And then told her he wanted her to make sure that they don't blame Christmas for this. Like this is not the thing that always reminds them of Christmas. Then why didn't you do this on President's Day, sir?
Yeah, you had all this time. You wait until a week before you about to leave so you could run away from it all. No, sir. No. Just that alone. No, you ain't coming back.
All right.
I couldn't do it. No, sir. Bye. All right. Chapter 3. Una and the kids come to visit friends. They're taking in the sights, really enjoying each other's company. They even find that they like Will's new girlfriend, Heather. And Una is enjoying the time spent with her kids. She begins to feel that she is better off without Charles, even though going to an empty house still sits in the back of her mind. So now she's starting to feel like, did I ever really need him?
I mean, that's easy to say because he footing the bill on this Paris vacation that you're on. Like, because they were together when this house was rented. They were together.
They
Like,
were.
that's easy to say when the bills are paid. Like I said, this hits different because they do not have a financial deficit.
This is true. This is true. But she also said that she felt like she was almost competing for the kids' attention
Yeah.
with Charles. So now she has them kind of all to herself.
Yes.
And she said her and Charles never really did much together besides eat dinner together once a week. So I can see how it's kind of like, well, I mean, he wasn't there before, really.
No. And I think, this is one of those things where you think it's almost like a warning so that I know if I ever can trick Cory Booker into finding me, hey boo, then I'll know that I need to be paying attention and making sure that you're coming home every night and notice when you haven't ravished me like you're supposed to. Like,
Ravished.
I mean, that's how Cory Booker gets down. I just know it. So, um,
Be terrible for you know.
oh well. So, I'm here, boo. Because I think that it's the idea that you will have been in a marriage for 25 years and then you're on vacation and you don't miss your partner. That's a big problem.
Because the only thing, like I said, the only thing she was thinking about was, I'm coming home to an empty house.
Yeah.
She's not thinking, I'm missing my husband. It's
Right.
going to be weird not having dinner with him. No, the house is empty.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, house is empty. So, okay. In chapter 4, Una is officially on lockdown. She is lucky enough to be able to stay in France in the home she rented for free until the lockdown is over. She begins working from her home in France and attending Zoom meeting. She gets a drunk voicemail from Charles and eventually a call saying he missed her. Her boss calls her later to explain that due to COVID, they are downsizing and she has been let go. So, first of all, Very nice that she can stay in France for free because of the
No,
lockdown.
I was reading this and I got very angry at you because I'm trying to figure out why you don't have a house in France that I can live in for free while your rich husband has you off on the other side of the world. I feel like you're cheating me. So I don't know what you need to do with your life to get it together so I can get a free stay in France. Um, just on the strength of us knowing each other, but I need you to make that happen.
Because I'm married for love. I'm married for love instead of money. That's what happened.
You will have to correct that. It's not too late. Fix your mistakes.
I need to fix that.
Fix
I need
your
to.
mistakes.
Hmm. If we go back in time. I'm just playing. I love you. But see and it wasn't a voicemail. I put voicemail. It was an email. But even still, you sent me an email talking about how free you're feeling, and then you're gonna tell me that all he likes to do is go to gay clubs and party, and he never wants to be at home. And you were so good at running the house, and you need to teach Roberto how it's done.
So,
What?
that's the difference between 30s and 60.
He's
That's the big difference between 30 and 40. Yeah, party hardy. I'm with it. I'm with it. 9 o'clock come now. I'm like, yeah, no. But
no.
outside of that, I want to give him the finger. Do not. Don't come back over here. Like that would have been it for me. Una better than me because I would never have anything to say to him. I will be calling whichever attorney I could get to in the middle of COVID lockdown.
And then he calls, and the first thing he says was, "I miss you."
Right. Oh my God. I called you on that one. I miss you. I wish you would. You don't miss me. You miss somebody washing your dirty drawers. That's what you miss because that's what it was. You want me
Yes.
to teach them to be like I was. Why? So you can leave them too?
No.
Like, no, thank you. What I look like? Trained in my
And then on top
replacement.
of that, he tried to, and I thought this was funny, and I probably would have done the same thing. He tried to FaceTime her, and she said no, and just called. She's like, "I'm not giving him the benefit of seeing this nice house and seeing my face." He
Right.
left. No. So he can just hear my voice.
She better than me because it would have been a text. What you want? Where's that deposit? That's
You
what
know
I'm
what? I
looking
think seeing the text, "I missed you," might have made you more upset. You might have broke your phone.
I probably would have. I probably would have.
Saw a
And
text, "I
then
missed you."
then then reply to the email. I need $1,000 to replace the phone you just made me break with this damn I miss you text. You
No,
are out of line,
like I
sir.
said, she handled it very well. She didn't
Better than me.
even address it. She didn't acknowledge it. She
I
just,
know.
"Hey, you talk to the kids." I didn't even hear what you said. It went one in one ear, out the other. I didn't hear it.
I wonder, is that the type of woman Cory Booker wants? Because I mean, maybe I just need to work on that. Because if I could just be more
Joie de vie.
docile,
Better hit up them etiquette books.
I guess so. Is
I
that why
read
you
one a
won't call me,
year.
Cory? Just tell me if that's why you won't call me. I'll fix it.
I do try to read one etiquette book a year. I feel like that separates you at a job, honestly.
Okay.
I do. I know that's kind of off subject, but a lot of y'all new people, you ain't got no manners, no etiquette skills, no communication skills. Hit up some of them etiquette books. They'll change your life.
Change your life.
All right, chapter 5,
Final chapter.
final chapter. Una is trying to find a way to cope with being unemployed. And on a walk, she ends up finding and adopting a little white dog she named Florence after the original owner of the house she is renting. Eventually, France is declared deconfined, and Una is able to go out into the city where she meets a tall, powerful, and strikingly beautiful man, Ashley Rowe. Yes, that's how she described him. I was like, oh,
Okay, and can
tall,
we just
powerful,
say
and strikingly beautiful.
for the people in the back, Mr. Ashley Rowe got some melanin in him. Can we just tell the people? Miss Una, she doesn't have any, but Ashley got it all. Can we just
He does, and I had to look it up when you called, and you were like, he He's black. I was like, talk about. I was like, I don't know where I thought Trinidad was in my head. I don't know where I thought it was, and I looked it up. I was like, snap, it's in the Caribbean. She got her an man.
Island man. No, he got that accent and everything. And then
Yes.
she said he's an actor, so he's a tall drink of water. Nice big cup of chocolate
And then
milk.
even so,
Yes.
even more so, she said his Caribbean accent mixed with his English accent. It had a
Oh,
hint of British, and I was like, oh, so we got like a Caribbean with a little Idris Elba in it?
right. Right.
Hey, who wants to take a trip to Trinidad
Some ladies have all the look.
or Tobago?
I'm
I don't know
saying
which one. We're going to one of them.
we need to go to all of them. Let's go.
And on top of that, and this is what gets me. Like the biggest thing for me is I love to be able to have a conversation with a guy, especially an intellectual one. He's an
Yes.
intellectual.
Yes.
That's a rare combination. Like
Yes.
you want
I'm
to talk about
excited.
someone putting together the perfect man. I've read a lot of romance book, and you put together a diamond.
Yes, a very nice introduction to this nice young man on a bike. He's on vacation, he's riding a bike, he's very nice. The first thing that caught her attention is his voice.
Yes.
So she's at the little cafe and then she hears his voice and she's like, huh, who that belong to?
He is very
And
deep
so
in
you know it must have
what
been
word did
something
she use?
powerful.
What word she's uh Maleficent.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, so he's got that he's like a deep, very white type voice, is what I pictured in my
Hmm.
head.
Yes.
Yes. I know. I was like, we gotta know more about this. We gotta know more about Ashley. I thought the name was interesting though. I did.
I
And
wonder if it's
I was
anything.
talking to someone else. I was like, it's typically in other countries where guys do have these names like Ashley, Stacy, Leslie, more girl names. I thought that was interesting. Okay, this was my biggest question because I found it interesting. Thoughts on the writing style of the book? What are your thoughts on the writing style of the book?
Um, I I like it. I think it has a good cadence. I like her use of she uses some bigger words. It's a step up from our usual cozy mystery, our cozy cafe book.
Yes.
So yeah, I like it. I do like the tempo. Um, she's very descriptive and very detailed. Um, I like
I
it.
feel like that is one of my favorite things about the book. She goes into a lot of detail about what the character is seeing, how the character is feeling, even what they look like. Like you have a clear picture in your mind of what is happening and how these characters are feeling.
Yes.
It's not it's not, oh, this character is happy. It's very this character is feeling jubilant. I'm like, okay, so it's
Yes.
extra, extra happy.
Right.
So I very much like her writing style. I can see why. But it is a very old style of writing.
Yes.
It is. Compared to, like I said, compared to what we have read lately, it's it's almost literary.
Yes.
Did Ashley Rose surprise you? Because he
Of
surprised
course.
me.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Not, this is no shade to Miss Steele in any way. But and I've not read any of her other books. I've actually, as you know, I'm moving, and so I have a lot of
Mhm.
stuff stored in my mom's garage. And as I'm pulling, because I'm not an organized person, I'm pulling stuff out. Pops an old book of Danielle Steele, much younger Danielle Steele. And so I told you my mom used to read her. I've never read anything from her, so I don't know if she um is the type that has a bunch of different cultures in her book. But to reach out to someone who's not just an African American man and not just an English person, but actually
Yeah.
from Trinidad, like, so you're going to a specific type of culture. So,
Yes.
yeah, I think that he did surprise me.
Yeah, that very much surprised me too. I don't know what I was expecting from the male main character. I don't know what I pictured someone French, if I'm being
That,
honest.
yeah, that would make
I
sense.
pictured someone French, and that whole thing straight to the hairstyle. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch on that hairstyle because it took me, I had to think about it and I figured it out. I did
Okay.
figure it out. Future predictions. Do you have any predictions of where this is going? I guess my biggest one is, especially after that I miss you call, is Charles gonna be like, hey, you know, this wasn't for me. Can we start over?
There is a part in the book, I don't know which chapter it is, probably two, I think, when he leaves.
Hmm.
And Danielle still says he says he's gonna deposit the money.
Hmm.
They don't want to make a solid agreement because they don't want to make anything firm or anything. And he keeps saying, like, to the kids, and he said it a couple times, your mom has agreed to wait for me. Um, she's not making
I do remember that.
any
I do remember
decisions.
that.
Like, those type of things are planting the seed that he's going to keep that door open. And I don't know if this is how, like, when you get all psychological on these books, I'm gonna like critique, like, these are real people.
Yes.
One of the most agitating things about people's characteristics, as if this is a real person, is that you do somebody wrong and you keep that door open. Like,
Yes.
I'm just gonna tap on the window to let you know, don't forget me. I know you think you've moved on, but tap, tap, tap. Hey, hey,
And
boo.
honestly, I feel like that's what that deposit is.
Yes.
I'm gonna continue to give you money so we can,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna change. The only thing that's gonna and if you if you want a divorce, that's fine, but think about it because this is just it's only 6 months. It's almost like I'm just taking a time out for 6 months.
Right.
So
I
I don't know. But that was
I
my big thing. I
feel
was like,
like
if this dude comes back, I hope she let him have it. I really do.
I mean, I think there's a couple of things here that it's hard for me to make a prediction. I think for the perfect book, right? I don't, again, I've never read anything by Danielle Steele, so it's hard for me to predict her.
Hmm.
But I will say, for the perfect book, in my head, it would fit for him to say, I made a mistake. He's too young for me. You were perfect. I'm tired of getting my own back blown out, so I'm ready to come home. So,
First of
so
all, we don't know if you're
now,
the top or bottom.
right, that's what I'm saying. So now, but anyway, I'm not going there.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not going there. But I want to come back. Okay. Um, then I want her to say, like, no, I've moved on, right? But I don't know if that means that she's going to move on with Mr. Rowe. If that means that they're going to have this passionate fling, is it going to turn to forever? I would be kind of disappointed. Um, I just met him. He's a good-looking man in a
That's all we know
cafe.
so far.
That's all I know. So at this point, I don't know that you should. I mean, you're all messed up. You are messed up. Your life is trash. You don't even know who you are anymore. Everything about your life has just been blown up.
Prudent.
Yeah.
So
So
so we have no future
I hope
predictions
she
right
has
now.
yeah, I hope she has a get in the bed, get juicy moment, and they make a friendship. That's what I mean, they may end up married
A
with six
juicy
kids
friendship.
themselves. Yeah.
All right. Our honorable mentions. I don't have much in this because, like I said, this book was a little more literary, not as flirtatious as most of our other books. There were some little quotes that I was like, okay, well, that's a thing. This was the first one. Is it awkward dating your boss? Will's dating his boss.
It's totally awkward dating your boss.
So it's like, so okay.
But the
And
question is,
he said one of them was going to be transferred, so they're very
if it
upfront
gets
about it, I'm
serious.
guessing.
Yeah, if it gets serious. The question is, what kind of person is, because he's the younger one. She's a lot older than he is, a lot, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Um, it depends on what kind of person is he the type that wants to blab around the office, I'm smashing the balls, Or
He
is
doesn't
he kind
seem
of
like
laid
that
back and
type.
chill and just be like, yeah, we grab a drink from time to time?
Yeah, he seems very much the reserved type, even just based on the way he reacted to
Is he?
Charles's news. He doesn't seem like he seems like he's not much of a talker.
Okay.
So I can see that working out. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I had to look up this word, major domo.
Oh,
In his email, he said that she was like the major domo of our house. That is a chief stewardess of a large household.
okay. I didn't know what it was and I just took it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the
Okay.
person who runs the house.
See? And now I'm
And
mad at you all over again.
yes. And he in his response, you should give Robert lessons on how to be a major domo. I'm like, that's how you saw me? As the
The
steward of the
help.
house?
Yeah,
The
I
help?
see how you, yeah, the help.
No.
Yeah.
So I can see why she was upset from seeing that email, even if it was a drunken email.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the one that got me. So she said he had corks on his head. And I was like, that style sounds familiar. I was like, a hairstyle that looks like corks on the head. This is it. They're Bantu knots.
Bantu knots.
They're called Bantu knots. This is what I picture.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, corks all over his hair. I was like, those are Bantu knots. So I was like, a guy with Bantu knots. Interesting.
Oh, now that man right there is handsome.
I know. So I was like, this is how I'm picturing him in my head.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm definitely okay with that.
Yes.
And then good on you, Una. Good
Yes.
on you.
He looks nothing like Cory Booker though. So Boo, call me.
Okay, you're gonna keep saying this. And eventually he's
He
gonna
might.
end up in that comment section.
Somebody might tell him. I'm waiting for him.
If he ends up in the comment section, I'm gonna need you
I'm
to keep
gonna
it together.
die. I'm
No, I'm
going
gonna
to
need you to keep it
die.
together. Don't.
I'm gonna frame it. You'll never be able to say anything else to me. Yes.
Guys, that was chapter 1 through 5.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot for 5 chapters.
Indeed.
Yeah, they put a lot in those 5 chapters. We're about to go through chapters 6 through 10. That's only 4 chapters compared to what we did. So 4 chapters this week, 4 chapters next week, and that's the end of the book. I'm hoping y'all are able to keep up. The chapters were a little lengthy. They're a little more lengthy than I thought, but the majority of it is just details of that's happening. So I'm not mad at it. I still think it's a pretty easy read. And I mean, if you have Audible, listen to that on your drive. It is on Audible. So 6 through 10, we're gonna be doing 6 through 10 next Sunday. I'm excited to see where this goes with Mr. Ashley Rowe. He's got full name status. You have to say his full name. Ashley
Okay,
Rowe.
Mr. Ashley Rowe, we're gonna get it with the corks in his head.
Bantu knots. Bantu knots. I hope he tells her that. I really do. I hope he tells her that these are Bantu knots.
If she asks, some people don't, they don't know what's rude, what's not.
That is true. I'm curious now. I'm just gonna have to wait and see. Guys, make sure you like and share and subscribe so we can get
Yes.
more books out here. Remember, guys, the goal is to build up your reading library and building up your vocabulary. This had a lot of words in it that I didn't know. I looked up at least 20, but now my vocabulary expanding. I might use that word, major domo. I like the word. I like it.
All
So,
right.
guys, like, share, and please subscribe. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye,
Oh,
guys.
also before we go, make sure that they follow Book and Sip on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
So,
Follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Bye, guys.
bye.